In the grand palace of Akama, Princess Adesu's chamber shimmered with gold and ancient charms, gifts from her grandmother, a powerful witch. A young maid knelt before her, holding a bowl of water. Her hands trembling. "My princess," she stammered, "let me wash your feet." As she lifted the bowl, a splash of water escaped, touching the princess's leg. Instantly, fury ignited in Adesu's eyes. "How dare you!" she roared, leaping to her feet. "You clumsy fool!" Her hand struck the maid's face with a sickening crack. The girl gasped, collapsing to the floor, her life extinguished in a single, brutal moment. Silence descended upon the room. Adesu stared down at the lifeless form, her voice dripping with ice. "That is what happens when you offend me." She sat back on her throne, completely unfazed as guards rushed in, their faces pale with fear, none daring to utter a word. Meanwhile, a new face appeared in the village square. Akani Abayat arrived, his presence marked by a quiet strength and a calm, fearless demeanor that set the villagers whispering. He was a man of peace, yet an undeniable power radiated from him. Later that day, as he settled into his modest hut, the door swung open without warning. Princess Adesu stood there, her posture regal and her expression arrogant. "Welcome to this village," she announced, her voice echoing with authority. "I am the princess of this village, a very powerful being. I am the architect of my own reign. I wear my dignity like a cloak and my intellect like a blade. To know me is to witness a legacy in the making. When I open my mouth, fire comes out. When I get angry, people die." Akani simply bowed his head slightly. "Thank you for this wonderful visit," he said, his voice steady. "My name is Akani Abayat. I was sent here for a missionary assignment." Adesu's eyes narrowed with suspicion. "Missionary assignment? By who? Who sent you to this village?" Akani's gaze was firm and unwavering. "The Chosen One. I was sent to this village for a reason by the Chosen One. Now, if you'll excuse me, I want to talk to the Chosen One." The words struck the princess like a physical blow. "The Chosen One," she repeated, shock and disbelief twisting her features. The name, the concept, rattled her to her core. Without another word, she spun around and stormed out of the hut, her grand entrance ending in a flustered and settled retreat. That night, sleep eluded Princess Adesu. She paced her chamber like a caged beast, the flickering candlelight casting long, dancing shadows on the walls. She clutched the charm from her grandmother, her mind racing. "What does he mean by the Chosen One sent him?" she muttered to herself, her voice laced with anxiety. "What kind of man is this? When I got to that house, I felt a powerful force pushing me out. I need to do some things." Her decision made, she knelt before the ancient charm, her desperation twisting into dark resolve. She began to chant, her voice a low hum that grew into a sinister incantation, echoing through the chamber. "By the hollow moon and the path unlit, I find the dark where your secrets sit. I call to the hunger, I call to the pride, to the jagged edges you keep inside." The air in the room grew heavy, and thunder rumbled ominously outside. Her chant grew louder, more frantic. "Forget the mercy, forget the light. Your hands are tools for the coming night. The voice of your conscience is muffled and thin. I open the gate, and I let the gale in. What I command, your spirit shall do, as the venom of malice seeps into you." The room began to tremble. The princess, lost in her dark ritual, pressed on, determined to bend this new threat to her will. "No longer a man with a heart of his own, but a blade for the harvest that I have sown. By the breath in your lungs and the blood in your vein, you are bound to my malice, you are yoked to my reign. Go forth in the silence, go forth in the gloom, and weave for the world a shroud and a tomb." Her eyes blazed as she focused all her energy, calling out his name to bind him. "I call forth Akani Abayat. Akani-u, Akani-u, Akani-u." In that climactic moment, a deafening thunderbolt tore through the palace roof, striking her with blinding force. The witch's charm shattered into 1,000 pieces. The princess let out a final, agonizing scream before collapsing, her body lifeless on the cold stone floor. A profound silence fell, heavier and more final than any before it. The reign of terror was over. The next morning, the sun rose over a changed village. As dawn broke, villagers gathered in the square, their whispers carrying the unbelievable news. The Princess of Akama is no more, one said, a mix of awe and relief in their voice, standing slightly apart from the crowd. Akani Abayad gazed calmly at the brightening sky. A quiet, knowing smile touched his lips. The chosen one's will has been fulfilled, he said softly, to no one but himself. The camera pans upward, toward the brilliant rising sun. A powerful symbol of the new era of peace and freedom that had just begun for the village of Akama.